I'm starting to think cave divers are a little bit of psychopaths. Welcome back to Chilling Everybody. I hope you guys are having a great day. Today we are going to talk about the 2005 film, The Descent. This movie kind of gave me some anxiety a little because, yeah, this movie is super creepy. Now, cave diving in general has always freaked me out because I always thought those people are some wild cards, because for the fact that you want to go in these caves and you just like have to shrink down, and it's a lot and it gives me anxiety. That's why I don't watch those videos. And I didn't really get a lot of anxiety, but after watching those videos I'm like, I cannot do that. That is way too much. That's just creepy. And I decided to watch this movie because it's on Tubi. I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Tubi is goated. But I decided to watch this movie as well because it's just one of those movies I've always wanted to watch. And there is a sequel, but I doubt I'll watch the sequel. But I wanted to watch The Descent for a long time. And this movie is really, really good. It opens up with the main character named Sarah, who loves to get wild. And when I'm saying get wild is it's just a bunch of daredevils. It's just like this adrenaline junkie stuff, where that's why a lot of people do these things, is because it's like it's that adrenaline rush that if you completed it, boom, you're good. And with that being said, opens up with her friend Juno, and Holly. And then you have Sarah's daughter and husband watch him go on that river rapid raft thing, is where it's just like insane stuff. So that happens, and then Sarah leaves with her husband and daughter, and it really threw me off because I didn't know they were British at first. they were English, because they were driving and her husband was in the passenger seat, and I was like, whoa, what is going on? It was like so freaky to watch that. It really threw me off. So then what happened after that is like he was like super quiet. He was just like, well, they got in a car accident, a bunch of pipes blown through and killed him. And I'm pretty sure it killed the daughter. Yeah, it was a really crazy opening scene. I was actually like, wow, this is gonna set the tone fast. So then it is a year later. Juno wants to do like the cave diving things, so they get like a whole group there, and Sarah goes with them because they think it's good for her to go. And I was like, okay, that's actually kind of fair, because I mean, it's been a year and maybe it will help her get out of her funk, which I actually really understood that element. So when that happened, they went into this cave, and they actually do a pretty good job at the beginning of this movie, where in this cabin, the girls all have a moment. You kind of meet all the rest of the girls, and they all have their personalities, but it's not all like the typical tropey personalities. And I kind of like that. I think that's a really good way to set the tone. Now, I will say, before I go deeper into this, I thought this was through first person, and I was not prepared for that, but it wasn't. It was not shot through first person. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense then, because I thought, my man, this one would be terrified if it was shot first person. I couldn't imagine climbing around. So anyways, the girls all go to this cave, and before this, you have a girl named Rebecca, who's kind of like the punk rock girl of this whole thing, and she talks about how the cave that they were gonna go to is just kind of like a touristy, like softy one. It's like an easy one. So Juno, the leader, decides to take them to a cave that they've never been to, one that's not established, because she's like, we can do this. And she wanted to make it fun, which I get it, but also it's like, well, I don't know. And what happens is when they get there, Juno actually leaves like the map tucked into the glove department, because she's like, we don't need no map, which is such a freaking terrifying thought, because I'm like, what if you get lost? Like, I think, doesn't people like die? Like, I'm pretty sure people die in these caves, like, especially because they get lost or get trapped or something. Like, somebody dies. That's such a crazy concept. They find a giant hole and they go down it. The movie it's a slow burn kind of horror film. It's like an hour and a half, but things don't start picking up until like 50 minutes into it, and I really think that's cool. And the girls are all like climbing around stuff. Sarah gets stuck, and this is where Sam talks her and calms her down, and they get out of there just in time before it collapses. So it collapses and all the girls are lost. And then they were talking about how, oh, there must be another route, and this is where Juno confirms that she's like, I actually left the map at home. This is not the one that we actually go to. This is actually a new one, a discovered one. Because she's like, I want us to discover it. And I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? I thought the same thing. I was like, damn, bro, you are so stupid. This is just an idiotic thing. And honestly, I can't even say, oh, that's such a trip, that would never happen. That actually would happen. There are people that truly believe, oh, we don't need this, we can survive. But it's like, brother, it's one of those things. It's like, Are you sure about that? So yeah, I was like, oh boy, you guys are cooked now. That's just where all the rest of the film kind of starts picking up, and all the girls are starting to climb through the cave. One of them, which they don't have the name for her on one, like her name on here, but she was like, this was a really good scene, is where you put like a clip in the cliff, like in this roof, and then you tie a rope through it so you can help the rest climb through. And she saw like an old metal one, so she just used it anyway, and they all start going through, except Juno almost falls and dies. And this is where Holly cuts her hand really bad from it, and like rope burns so bad that her hand starts bleeding, because that amount, oh man, that would be painful. And that's where Juno's like, somebody else was here, and this was at least 100 years old, so that's even worse. And then that's where things start picking up. They actually thought they saw light, and of course, Rebecca started running really fast. She's like, oh, it's the light. But apparently when you're in the caves, like there's like an illusion that there could be light at the end of the tunnel, but there's not actual light or something. And Rebecca actually falls and breaks her leg. It like snaps her like shin. It was insane. It was a really, really good practical. That's the thing about this practical effects in this movie, really good. And I actually appreciated them a lot more than I thought I would, because for probably a movie that I didn't expect with a lot of blood and gore and all that, this did really good. This is where things start getting intense. Sarah starts wandering off, and I was like, oh man, she's cooked. I'm like, the main character is about to do this, and I'm like, oh, maybe they might kill the main character. Who knows? And this is where you spot the first creature. They're humans, but they live in these caves for years, so we actually don't know too much about them, which is such a cool thing. I love the idea that have these humanoid creatures just chilling in the caves, and that's the first time, and it's actually super creepy the first time. And that's where things start picking up more and more, and this is where all the girls actually run into like two of them. Well, they scatter everywhere, and Rebecca does end up getting killed because, well, she can't do anything. Juno actually like kills them, which is pretty good. She like kind of goes Rambo. Like Juno actually in this movie is more of the final girl than like Sarah is, and I was very impressed. Juno kills both of these creatures that appear, and this is where I kind of don't. This is one thing I kind of just don't like how it ended. Throughout the whole movie, Sam and Juno have been beefing a lot because of Sarah. They have a lot of issues and just things going on. Sam goes up behind Juno. Juno doesn't know it's Sam, and she screams because she thinks it's another one of those creatures. She uses like her cliff diver like axe thing, I don't know what they're called, and turns and cuts her in the throat and kills her. And she just leaves her there. Was it on purpose? No. Because it's all divided. Sarah is in like the area where these creatures are eating them. And like I said, it's all just split up. Everyone's split up. Juno is going Rambo mode on these creatures, which is so crazy. And Sarah is like with them, but she has like a camera on her to record it, which is really funny. It's just super early, like dated 2005, but she had that out to record them, and I really like that part of it. Like I like those scenes with it because it is pretty cool. And that's where they all realize that these creatures actually can't see because they're blind because of they're in darkness, so of course they're going to be blind, but the hearing's really, really good. This is where more characters are going to die. That's what happens. But Sarah fights and kills one. Like she's like in like this blood pit, and it's so cool. And she kills one, like a female one, and then she's like laying on this rock, and one of the creatures comes out of nowhere, and she's just super silent, and they like step on her, and she just stands there. And then once the creature avoids her, she grabs it and kills it. Badass. You have Sarah and Juno. I'm kind of skipping a little bit ahead because the other two end up dying anyway, and that's fine. I mean, Holly dies because she's like on the ceiling trying to like climb, and then she like gets her throat cut by the long claws, and then she stabs the creature, and they both just die. And it was almost like pointless for her to do it, and I didn't know these things can climb on the ceiling, which is insane. Just such a crazy thing. But this is where things get more interesting. So at the end, Sarah and Juno are the last two survivors, and in my head I'm like, oh, are these two gonna be the final girls? I didn't think so. I mean, clearly Sarah is the final girl this whole movie, but I'm like, they wouldn't let Juno live. There's no way. And Juno gets confronted by Sarah about Sam. And she's like, what happened to Sam? Did she die? And Juno lied and said, yeah, Sam died. But earlier, Sarah finds Sam, and Sam tells her that Juno killed her. And I was like, dude, that is such gaslighting. It's not like she did it on purpose. Like, in the heat of the moment, Juno did not kill her. Like, in the heat of the moment, she did not purposely go out of her way to kill her. That's what kind of rubs me the wrong way. And that's what, like, bothers me for the rest of this movie. Is after that. Like, that was, like, my biggest complaint about this whole movie. So Sarah and Juno fight a couple of them. Pretty cool fight scenes. This is where Sarah does confront Juno. about it, and Juno gets stabbed in the leg by Sarah, and Sarah just leaves her in the cave, and Sarah, well, escapes. And she actually like legit escapes the caves from all the horrors and leaves Juno behind and dies. I was like, wow, that is such a crazy thing to watch. I didn't really like, I think there's a little bit of me that's like, oh, maybe she did it because she was like, I have to survive because we're all gonna die anyway. And that could be one of the reasons, but I just didn't really like how she killed Juno, because Juno, like, yes, Juno did kill her. I will say that again. Juno did kill Sam, but it wasn't like on purpose. She clearly didn't go out of her way to do it. That's what kind of bothered me the most about the whole thing. But regardless though, I really like this movie. I think The Descent's a really fun movie. I haven't watched the second one. I don't know if I will. Who knows? But I like the idea that the horror is in the cave and it's really hard to see. Like, because the way that they shot it and how they had to use the light, I really liked the lighting throughout this whole movie. Predominantly the movie was, well, black, but they used like red glow sticks or green glow sticks where they would have flashlights and stuff. That stuff was very, very cool and very smart to see how they directed this movie. So I did like this movie a lot more than I thought I was going to, but man, this movie was so much fun. It wasn't nearly as like full of anxiety because, like I said, I thought it was going to be shot first person. If it was, I couldn't imagine climbing through those little cave holes like that, but it was awesome. I love the cinematography. I think the movie is just a really fun thing. The only thing I have a complaint is the ending. I didn't really like the way that Juno went out, because honestly, without Juno, those girls all would have been cooked. Like, even Sarah would have been cooked. Like, Juno soloed, I think she killed at least 5 of them, which is such a crazy thing. So I'm like, you messed up. So now I wonder if the second one, if Juno's gonna return. I could see that. Like, that's definitely a horror movie trope, but I did like this movie. If you guys made it to the end of the video, I do appreciate it. Do you have any recommendations for any kind of movies like this? Like, I know there's some that's like underwater ones. I would like to watch those kind of movies. I think it's really fun to see those kind of elements for a horror movie. It is really fun to see those kind of scenes instead of the typical slasher and the neighborhood kind of movies. I'd like to watch those. So if you have any recommendations, I'll put them on my letterbox and I will try and get to them. And of course, I will have to rate this like I always rate all my movies. I give this a 3.5 out of 5. And it's not because of the big Juno thing. That did kind of knock it down. I was not a big fan of that, but I think a 3.5 out of 5 is a really solid thing. It was an average movie. I really did like this movie. And of course, make sure you guys stay away from caves or just bring a map next time.